Time for a food sin episode. Subway workers of Reddit, what's the grossest sandwich you've seen ordered/had to make? When I worked at Subway, there was a family that came in, the parents and their 2 sons. They would always order meatball footlongs and want all the veggies twice. You can never pack on enough lettuce either. You couldn't cut the dang thing. Good luck trying to smash it down enough to even wrap. That times 4 every time they came in, plus a ton of mayo. We used to do rock, paper, scissors in the back to see who had to deal with them. The guy had some kind of intellectual disability or something. He ordered a foot-long meatball sub with extra marinara and extra every other sauce, which at the time would have been yellow mustard, brown mustard, ranch, chipotle, light mayo, regular mayo, yes, both, and sweet onion. He had a companion with him who kept asking him, "Are you sure you want all that? That doesn't sound like it'll taste very good. Are you sure?" But he was not deterred. The companion came back up to me later to thank me and let me know he ate the entire thing and loved it. This mom and her kid would come into my store every Wednesday, and after the mom ordered something normal, the kid, who would always order himself, would ask for a, quote, plain sandwich. The first time I had to ask, but after that, every Wednesday, when I saw them walking up, I'd start working on that little guy's toasted bread and ketchup sandwich. Super gross sandwich order, but those 2 customers were always a bright spot in my week. Double salami and pretty much all the oregano in the house. No cheese, no sauce, no shame. Ex-Subway worker, there used to be a sandwich called The Feast, and we would ring a bell when someone ordered it. There was a guy who would order a feast, double meat, double cheese. The bread wouldn't even begin to fold. For reference, The Feast is what appears to be a sandwich with pepperoni, salami, turkey, ham, and maybe roast beef on it, with veggies. The sandwich itself looks like Pac-Man after he's about to devour one of the ghosts. And if you could imagine that gape of a hippo's jaw of bread being stuffed to the brim with meat, try adding double meat and double cheese to that, and you can see why it would be better off being an open-faced sandwich. My old boss took a trip to Hawaii to surf, rented a Jeep, and ordered enough $5 footlongs to last the week. That's all he ate all week, apparently. Stored them in the Jeep. No cooler, no refrigeration. All of those sandwiches were gross after a week in Hawaii temperatures. I don't know if they still do the seafood salad sandwich, but when I was a teenager, I had to prep that in the morning. It's a 5-pound bag of imitation crab and a gallon bag of mayonnaise, mixed with my gloved hands. The smell and texture was awful. Anyways, had an elderly gentleman come in on my Saturday shifts and get the seafood salad footlong, double meat with shredded cheese, toasted. Old guy tipped $1 every time. I used to go to this one Subway, and the artist really loved his job. He got to be stoned and make sandwiches. He knew people's orders. He was filled with fun Subway facts. He was the best part of going to Subway. I asked him what's the weirdest subs he has had to make. He told me that a lot of people from the Philippines ordered the seafood sub with marinara sauce on it, at least in that neighborhood. He thought it was super weird at first, and then after several people ordered it, he tried it himself and said he didn't hate it. It is time for this story to be told. When I was a stupid high school boy, my buddy Rob and I used to go to the same Subway at least a couple of times a week. There were 2 workers there, Mary and Roland, and whenever they transferred, we'd follow them to some other Subway, because they were nice to us and sometimes gave us deals. One day I went in there and said, "Roland, I bet you can't make me a sub that I can't eat." Roland goes in the back and comes back with 2 big freaking slabs of processed turkey. When you order a normal sub, that turkey is all sliced up. This was not sliced. It was just a brick of meat about 1.5 inches thick. He loaded it up with all the regular toppings, no screaming hot sauce or anything, and said, "There you go." Stupid high school boy me thought, this fool doesn't know who he's dealing with. I ask for an edible, and he gives me extra meat. 10 minutes and this thing is down the belly hatch. But a strange thing happens when you have to chew large portions of processed meat for a long time. You realize why they slice it up like that. It's because it's full of big, disgusting chunks of gristle, blobs of fat, probably a beak or 2, whatever made it into the turkey blender before it was pressed into a can. I can't remember whether I puked. Stupid high school boys puke a lot. but I do remember that I didn't even finish 6 inches of that thing. God bless Roland, wherever he ended up. Not only did he win the bet, he made a sandwich that still haunts my dreams 25 years later. Never worked at Subway, but I can tell you how to make any sandwich absolutely disgusting. Order it on flatbread, but don't let them toast it or warm it up. The flatbread tastes like Satan's skin when it's cold. Hey there, if you subscribe to Am I the Genius and Am I the Jerk, I might not judge you for your horrible Subway order. Link is in the description, and remember to support the video by liking and leaving a comment. Thanks for watching! Obligatory, I don't work at Subway, but I do work at a place that serves subs. Had an order for a while back for a chicken finger sub with hot sauce, tuna, pickles, and double mayo. Felt like I was preparing for a reckless eating video. Edit, for those who have asked, I work at a locally owned pizzeria. Okay, this contextualizes things because in my head, if you work at a pizzeria, the pizzas are really the main focus, not the sandwiches. So you have a specific way you make the sandwiches, and there isn't really a lot of modifications you can do. What I think this person did is that he saw that the place served chicken fingers and subs and had all of these toppings that would put on the sandwich and said to himself, oh yeah, I want all of that. He was just making up his own crap for the sake of making up a sandwich. Like, I hate the idea of the sandwich, but you gotta admire the man's creativity and opportunism. Okay, check it. Dude comes in like he's never been to a Subway before, which, that's okay. I'm ready to help. But he also acts like he has never had nor heard of a sandwich before. He gets the honey oat footlong, and that is where the logic stops. This joker asks, what's good? And I tell him that I like the meatball marinara. He gets that, with extra marinara mind you, and before I can even ask him about his cheese choice, he points to the tuna and goes, ew, what's that? I tell him what it is, he takes a good minute to think, and then he's like, okay, I'll get that too. I pause for a second, trying to process what he is asking me. Let me tell you, I take the title, quote, sandwich artist seriously, and I did not feel like an artist while spreading pasty tuna onto a marinara-soaked honey oat loaf. I felt dirty. So to follow this nutball's train of logic, he has me extra toast it without cheese, take it out, and he says 2 words that shook me to my core. Honey mustard. I'm an honest man, I like to think. A good man if I'm being generous. But I cannot think that any god would make me suffer for helping craft this abomination. I squeeze the bottle and give him 3 thick lines of that tangy god sauce. He says more. I give him more. I close it with an audible squelch emitting from the sub. I wrap it up, and when I look up to accept his money, I see his face. I see the excitement of a child about to go on a roller coaster for the first time. The guy is giddy, practically electrified with glee. I give him his foot-long effigy to sin incarnate. He leaves the store, and I go in the back to slice bell peppers and try to forget. Meatballs, teriyaki chicken, and salsa with all the salad and all the sauces. No, he wasn't high, and he ordered it like 3 more times. For breakfast, egg whites, American, and shredded cheddar, a double portion of seafood salad, toasted, oil, no vinegar. Had a few people that would order a double meat tuna sub and then want a ton of mayo added to it. Those sandwiches were already half mayo to begin with. I felt fatter just touching the thing. Also, another store under the same owner would regularly get people wanting cookies added to their subs. I'm pretty sure I was told the reasoning was that they thought it would count as a topping so they wouldn't have to pay for the cookies. Yeah, like I'm gonna get my full order and then say, oh, stick a cookie in there too, and then pry it out while it's drenched in marinara sauce. Back when I used to work in a Subway, I've seen a couple gross ones. Here's a few I can remember. This obese guy would walk in a couple times a week, take the cold cut combo. He asks for a ton of lettuce, followed by the largest amount of mayonnaise you can imagine. He always emptied half the cup of mayo. It was probably more than enough mayo for 12 to 15 average customers. He then added a few other vegetables and was good to go. It always made me sick making him such a sandwich as I knew I was killing him. Then, I've seen 2 normal-looking persons take every single sauce on the menu. Not like a very thin line or anything. Extra dosage of every sauce while looking at me to make sure I put enough of each. At Subway, you can ask to grill vegetables with your bread, cheese, or meat. I always grilled onions and peppers with mine for the flavor. Multiple people were doing this. Then this guy walks in and asks me to grill his sub at the complete end after asking for lettuce, pickles, and sauce on it. Edit, this got some attention. For those who are still passing through this, do not touch soup in a Subway or any other similar place. It's a pile of frozen junk, even if it tastes good. Edit 2. Just remembered one more. This guy ordered a wrap with 8 portions of bacon and 2 portions of steak. Cheese over the entire thing, no vegetables, and toasted. Yup, a toasted wrap. When I worked at Panera, a customer once ordered a tuna salad sandwich on a chocolate chip bagel. Not an artist, but was in line behind a guy. He got a chicken bacon ranch, double meat and cheese. Nothing weird yet. No toppings. Whatever, a lot of meat and cheese. All the sauces. What the heck? The Subway gal put a little line of each one on. Not good enough. He wanted it drenched in every sauce. He got a faint glob for each sauce, plus had them add marinara. When they tried to close the sandwich and cut it, it was oozing. He grabs it and sits down, basically slurping the thing. I was planning on eating there, but just couldn't. Got it to go and got the heck out of there. One of the grossest things I have ever seen. Okay, I was really curious about exactly what sauces are being put on the sandwiches, so I decided to look up the list of Subway sauces. People are putting oil, red wine vinegar, mayonnaise, mustard, honey mustard, buffalo sauce, sweet onion teriyaki, peppercorn ranch, Baja Chipotle, MVP Parmesan vinaigrette, and roasted garlic aioli on their sandwich at once. Some of these combinations I can get behind. I honestly put mayo and Baja Chipotle on mine because it makes this sort of spicy mayo mixture. It's really good. But if you get MVP Parmesan vinaigrette and red wine vinegar and buffalo sauce all at once, that's just gonna clash. We all know variety is the spice of life, but some people need to chill. Footlong Subway Club. I think double meat. Wanted extra cheese times 4 so they could have every single type of cheese on it. Every single vegetable, every sauce, and I mean every sauce. Even mayo plus light mayo together. Olive oil, vinegar, salt and pepper, oregano, Parmesan cheese. Not only was it disgusting, but it was a pain to actually wrap the thing up. Anytime someone ordered a tuna sub, it's basically vomit mixed with wall plaster. I had a guy order a meatball sub with extra meat, which in his case meant twice the meatballs. The juice alone from all those balls of meat made the bread like wet newspaper pretty much instantly. Way back in the day, I have no idea if this still exists, there was a rib sub, which was basically the roast chicken patty but in rib form, which was guaranteed to move through your bowels in no time. I worked during the Atkins craze, so anything to do with that still makes me shudder. Dude comes into my work every so often for a flatbread footlong, 1 egg white and 1 egg yellow. Add double meat tuna, toasted, and nothing else. I was a sandwich artist, thank you. Finally, a question I can answer that brings back the horrible memories of my soul-destroying time at Subway. There was this guy that I think was messing with me and the other girl there, but he ordered a foot-long wheat bread with every flavor of cheese we had on it, along with every condiment we had. Then, the man used a ketchup bottle he brought himself and used it all. His friends recorded him eating it, and I feel sick remembering it. This lady would come in every day and ask for a 6-inch honey oat, and made it very apparent that she wanted the bread soft. She had me put triple American cheese on it and 3 tomatoes and an ungodly amount of mayonnaise on it. That's it. Made me cringe watching her eat it. Hated that lady. I really hope that more people realize that mayonnaise is literally just like oil, eggs, and salt. And if you put way too much of it on a sandwich, you're just gonna taste oil, eggs, and salt. Like there's no other redeeming quality of that sandwich besides the fact that you put a gallon of mayonnaise on it. And it's not even like barbecue sauce, where the sauce is the point of barbecue. You may as well be eating mayonnaise out the jar with a spoon at that point. Late to the party, but this is hands down the worst sandwich I ever made. Dude comes in, orders a 6-inch cold cut, white bread. As I'm cutting the bread, he asks for mayo on both sides before the meat, so I do the old back and forth both sides. He looks at me and says, "Not enough, man. I want like an inch on both sides." I used about a half bottle of mayo on that sandwich, put the meat on, and closed it up. He told me at the end that he lets it sit in the fridge for 3 days before he eats it. Nope. No way. If I let fast food sit in my fridge for more than a day, it gets inedible. Mans is out here marinating his meat in mayonnaise. Like, what are you people doing? Stop putting 1 billion pounds of mayonnaise on your sandwiches. I am begging you. Not Subway, but in high school, I worked at Hoagie Yogi, which does sandwiches and teriyaki bowls. I had a teenage girl come in and ask if I could make a foot-long pickle sandwich. So I took a small handful of pickles and spread them out over the bread. "Can I have more?" she asked. I took another, slightly larger handful of pickles and spread them over the bread. "Can I have more?" she asked again. I dug into the bin with both hands and spread 2 heaping piles of pickles across the bread, which was now soaking in vinegar. "Is that enough?" I asked. I thought I was calling her bluff. "Yeah, that's good." I folded the sandwich down as best I could. The pickles were stacked too high. I rang her up for a veggie sandwich, watched her take it to a table, and sit down to eat the whole thing. The bread was dark and soggy. Any pickles that fell out, she was quick to scoop up. It was gross, but fascinating at the same time. Okay, YouTube comments, hear me out on this one. Do you know somebody who is obsessed with pickles? And bonus points if it's specifically white girls who are obsessed with pickles. And I don't mean to exclude anybody else from that conversation. I just mean that white girls specifically are the demographic that's almost targeted to be obsessed with pickles. Am I the only one who's noticed this phenomenon, or am I just going crazy? Not a Subway worker, but ordered enough weird sandwiches to be rightfully judged. My brother and I used to have this ongoing competition where we would order the grossest sandwiches and see who could actually eat the most of it. Whoever ate the least had to pay for both sandwiches the next time we came to Subway. The grossest sandwich I ever ordered was a foot-long with that weird artificial fish and mayo stuff, spinach, olives, tomatoes, bacon, avocado, honey mustard, and barbecue sauce. To be honest, it was actually pretty good despite the texture, so I won that competition. I worked in Northwest Iowa, very agricultural. Lots of cold-cut trio on white bread with a crap ton of mayo, and that's it. I hated making it. I did not graduate from the Art Academy of Subway sandwiches to unwrap turkey plastic and splooge mayo up and down the block. I once had to make someone a black olive sandwich. Like, 3 handfuls of only black olive on Italian bread with extra olive juice. We had a guy who ordered the seafood, gross in his own right, and then would ask for black pepper. He would then say, "Put pepper on until I say stop." He would let you shake on pepper for a good 15 to 30 seconds. The sub was just a pile of mayo and soot. Surprised I never sneezed. Maybe that's what he wanted. I worked at a sub shop in Arizona, and this wasn't really gross, just peculiar. A girl would come in every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and order a 16-inch sub with all the white cheese except yellow, and a, quote, 16-inch sub with 4 orders of bacon and no bread. I thought she was joking when she first came in, but I was subsequently reprimanded by the supervisor for laughing. Reverse. My friend used to work at a chain sub shop, and I love mayo. To screw with him, I would always just ask for unreasonable amounts of mayo on my stuff, because he thinks it's gross. He was about to ship out to the military, so before he left, I had to make me a meatball sub, but with no red sauce. All the red sauce had to be replaced with mayonnaise. He cringed, I ate it. It was a good day. In this thread, mayo. In fact, take a shot every time you hear the word mayo. I think you'll have less alcohol in you than these people have mayo in their systems at all times. Late to the party, but I've seen a Subway order that's shaken me to the core, and if I can spread the story to just one person, it's worth it. A lady in front of me orders a salad. So far, so good. Nothing to worry about. Then she says she would like it plain. The worker asks what she would like on her salad. She doesn't want lettuce, onions, or spinach. She orders 1 slice of ham in the middle of the plastic bowl. Then she asks for pickles. The worker puts a handful on, but the lady wants more. I'm perplexed in line behind her, and it's starting to get hard to keep a straight face. The worker piles on another 2 full handfuls of pickles on. The lady pipes up, "Can I just get a little more?" The worker gives her a wary eye, but submits, and adds 1 final handful to her bowl. She proceeds to pay, her final order being 1 slice of ham and the remainder of the bowl filled with pickles. I'm sorry, is this defined as plain? Like, if you say you want your salad plain, wouldn't that just be lettuce? If it's just lettuce, that's fine. I won't judge you for being boring or basic, but I will judge you for calling your ham and pickle bowl a salad. Go to the store and get a jar of Vlasic pickles and a tub of mayo and a 6-pack of Oscar Mayer lunch meat, and you can make your own sandwich for less money and time that you would spend going to Subway and having it done for you. And the best part is that you can eat the rest of the tub of mayo, eat the rest of the jar of pickles, you can even drink the pickle juice for all I care. Just stop torturing these poor Subway employees, please! When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications. Put the playlist on in the background to finish listening to all the stories, linked at the top of the description. And if you like Am I the Genius, give Am I the Jerk a shot, linked in the description too. Either way, thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see you guys next time.